Hello everyone, I'm Jilson. Download the source file below in the description. Let's get started. I'm here in the worksheet Sum function. At this worksheet, I have sales data from a hotel smart in Miami. I have category of data, room revenue from January to March. I have service earnings and have additional charges for these 3 months. I want to calculate the total income from January, February and March. You already know how to use the sum functions. When I start typing, I can select sum function here, the list, Excel display additional information about this function, add all the number in a range of the cell. Existing others variations from this function, some if, but I want to choose the sum function. I can press tab and I can select and drag the interval where I want to sum and close the parenthesis. Close the parenthesis is optional. If I press enter, Excel understand and close the parenthesis for me. But I have at the top the formula tab. If I click here on the formula tab, I have function organizing category. You can see here I have auto sum function and I have the button insert function. I will delete this, click here again. If I click here, insert functions, Excel display a box with the list of most recent used functions. I have the list here, and if I scroll down, I can see other functions, or I can use this list to select one function by category. I can click the functions and click OK. Excel display this window. I can inform the ranges, but for now I will cancel this because I prefer enter the form manually. I think it's more easy for understand. If I click here in auto sum, or I can use the shortcut alt plus equal, Excel automatically understand I want to summarize the previous interval. If I press enter, now Excel summarize everything for me. I can copy this work, or I can use auto sum. Excel highlight the interval and I press enter. I quickly have my result. But if I select the entire interval and press auto sum, Excel quickly summarize all the interval. I will press Ctrl Z. You can do other operations. I will delete this and press enter. I can analyze another things instead only summarize the data. If I go here and auto sum and click in this arrow, I can see average. I can count the number of cells. I can have the maximum or the minimum. If I want you to know the average from room revenue, I can click here. Excel understand the interval. Change the functions from sum to average and press enter. Now I know the average from my room revenue are this amount. I can delete this and I can click here in this arrow again with the max value and press enter. The max value is this. Of course, this is a short table, but if I have thousands and thousands sales from this table, Excel can do this horizontal or vertical, and I have the result quickly. I will delete this. I can select the entire interval using auto sum because I want to summarize these values, and now I have all my results. Another important thing to know here, in this formula tab, you have name manager. If I click in name manager, I can edit this name, cell reference, delete, create new. I will close this. If you define name ranges for cell, where you manage this name is here in the formula tab. Name manager, you can manage all cells. You already set a name. I will close this, save this file. I'm here on max function worksheet. I have many worksheets here. When you have many worksheets, if you look at the left bottom corner, you can see these arrows. If I click here, I can navigate from this worksheet. If I click on the left, I can back on this worksheet. Use this to the right or to the left and navigation to the worksheet. I'm in the worksheet max function. I continue here in the formula tab at the top. Here I have sales from Hotel Smart Miami reservation. I have the date, the reservation, the guest name, the state from this guest, the city, and total this reservation. I want to know the highest reservation. To do this, I use a new function, the max function. If I click here, when I start type, I see the list of functions with these two letters, and if I click here in max, Excel display additional information from this function. I double click or press tab. First, I want to select the cell ranges where I want to analyze. I want to analyze the total. To do this, I click, hold the mouse and drag. I can continue scroll and select the entire list. This is a small list. It's easy for me to scroll and select this list. I use the mouse scroll now. You can see the first is E3, the first row, and column E, and the end is E52. If I have thousands and thousands rows in this worksheet, I can type manually the first row to analyze, and then type the last row I want to analyze. If I type this and scroll down, I can see the entire list and close the parentheses. Is optional, but I want to close and press enter. When I press enter, Excel now give me the information. The highest reservation from these cells is this amount. I can save this. You can use the max functions to analyze max value from your sales or your date. I can press enter. Now I'm in the worksheet min function. This is opposite of the other. And now I want to know lowest reservation. I use min function. When I start type, I can see the function. I can press tab. E3 is the interval. I can type E3 colon E52. I can close parentheses. Excel will analyze the lowest reservation. I can press enter, and now I have my result. I use this as an example of hotel reservation, but you can use it for different sales, different data you analyze in your work. Doesn't matter. I'm here in average function worksheet at the bottom. I want to calculate the average reservation. I use the average function. When I start typing, Excel show me the list of the function. I'll double click. The idea is the same. I inform the first cell I wanted to select, or I can click and drag. Doesn't matter. Select the entire interval. Here at the bottom, you can drag for vertical or horizontal. I scroll back, close the parentheses, and press enter. Now I know the average reservation from my hotel. Now let's know how to use the count functions. I'm here in the worksheet count functions. These three functions are the most used. I have the count A, and count blank. Count the numbers or reservations, only numbers in the column. If I want to know how many reservations I have, I can use this column as a reference and then count the number of reservations. I click here, equal. When I start type count, Excel display the function. Count the number of cells in the range that contain numbers. Only count numbers. I can type, I can click and drag is more quickly, and close the parentheses and press enter. I have 50 reservations in this worksheet. If I have thousands and thousands and thousands, or maybe millions of reservations, I can type the first cell and the end of the last cell, and Excel analyze all information for me. Now let's use the count A function. Count A functions count numbers and letters. Here in my column I have only numbers in this column, but if I have letters and numbers, count A count both numbers and letters. I start. Count, I select count A, double click. In this case, I use the serial name. I can select here. The result will be the same because I have a short number of information here, but if I have thousand information, this will be different. I can press enter. If I change this for number, count A, continue, count text and number. I undo this, but if I change this for text, for example, the count functions changes. First, count only numbers, and the second, count numbers and letters. This is a short list, but you can understand it now above. And count blank, count only blank values. If I have blank values, I can count these numbers. I can start, count blank, select which sequence I want, and press enter. 0 because I don't have blank information here. I'll delete one value and press enter, and now I have different information here. If you're working with biggest worksheet with a lot of data, these functions will be very useful for you. You can analyze the numbers, text, blank cells. You can do a lot of work with these functions. That's it. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe in my channel so you can receive new contents like this every weekend. And if you want to continue practice with me, you can watch my full courses Excel for Beginners, completely free, with the link below in the description, and you can see the link at the right corner. See you in the next lesson. Bye.